Unfortunately, many of the capabilities we need to create truly responsive designs either don't exist at the current time or are unevenly supported across user agents. Thankfully, there are a lot of people and organizations working very hard to make creating responsive designs easier and to plug the holes in some of those existing capability gaps. I'd like to show you some of the tools that can make creating responsive designs a little easier and some that can help you ensure that your responsive designs work across as many devices as possible. I really like to sketch my ideas out first before I move on to creating code. To me, this helps me visualize how my content will be presented and work through a site's responsiveness before actually authoring any CSS. That's why I absolutely love the responsive web design sketch sheets created by Jeremy Alford. You can download these sheets, print them out, and be brainstorming your responsive design in minutes. Instead of using an existing fluid grid, you might want to build your own. Two tools that I really like in this regard are Tiny Fluid Grid and Fluid Grids. Now, Tiny Fluid Grid has a very simple interface that allows you to set some quick parameters and then download the resulting grid. Fluid Grids is a bit more manual, as it allows you to enter the total number of columns you want, say the width of those columns, and then the width of the gutters. All you have to do is click Get the Grid. It'll go ahead and generate the grid for you and allow you to copy and download that. Even if you're not keen on using somebody else's grid, both of these tools are great ways to examine exactly how fluid grids are built. Once you start building responsive sites, you'll soon realize how many deficiencies there are in terms of implementations. There's very little in the way of built-in feature detection, resource management, and content switching in our current browsers. Well, thankfully, many tools are being developed to address that. Now, the first one I want to show you is Categorizer. Now, this is a device detection script that determines whether the user agent is a desktop device, TV, tablet, or smartphone. Now, from there, you can load necessary resources, redirect pages, or perform platform-specific actions. If you've watched any of my previous titles, you've probably seen me talk about Modernizer. Modernizer is the current standard in feature detection, as it allows you to quickly determine if a specific feature is supported and then load resources, styles, or content based on the results. Modernizer features asynchronous resource loading and an ability to test against the results of media queries, which makes it an indispensable tool for responsive design. Earlier, we discussed how difficult responsive images are. Now, the same can be certainly said for responsive video as well, which is why fitvids.js is such a welcome tool. This jQuery plugin allows you to quickly create fluid video embeds on your page that are also cross-browser compliant. Although you'll find this actually baked into many of the responsive design tools that you'll use, it's worth discussing respond.js by the Filament Group on its own. Because older user agents didn't support media queries, responsive sites are often seen as not being very backwards compatible. Respond.js is a very lightweight polyfill that enables media query support on older browsers. The Filament Group has several tools that can help make your life easier when designing responsive sites. Overflow helps ensure consistent support for the CSS overflow property among mobile devices. Since inconsistent support can create serious user interface problems when scrolling through content, this is a very useful tool. And even though I've already mentioned it, I want to recommend Filament Group's South Street toolset again. Filament Group refers to South Street as a progressive enhancement workflow. Now, it's essentially a set of tools that they've developed over the years for building responsive, cross-device web applications and sites. It's amazing to me that a leading developer of responsive designs would develop these tools around the best practices that they've evolved and then put them out there for free. But that's exactly what the Filament Group has done. If you're going to be designing responsive sites, you need to at least examine these tools and learn from their processes. Finally, I want to mention response.js. Now, this is a jQuery library that focuses on building responsive designs. It has features that let you swap code blocks for different devices, handle responsive images, and triggers for responding to screen sizes or device features. Be sure to check it out and see if it has features that you can use. Now, obviously, some of the tools I've mentioned here are more technical than others. Don't be intimidated if you don't quite understand what a tool does or how to implement it. Just make sure you experiment with some of the tools I've mentioned here so that when issues arise as you build responsive sites, you'll be ready to deal with them.